Let's link up with Elijah Kingori and find out what's happening at Nyayo National Stadium, where the AK Athletics Kenya is picking a team that will represent the country in Budapest, Hungary later next month at the World Athletics Championships. So that's Elijah Kingori. Once the signal is through, we will be able to play it. But let's get back to Elijah Kingori, link up with him again at the Nyayo National Stadium. Elijah, what's cooking in Nyayo Stadium?
From Nyayo National Stadium, this being the second day of the National Athletics Trials, where we shall be having all the qualifiers or the participants where over 160 participants are participating in this event. And the qualifiers of the event are expected to take part in the World Championship that will be happening in the month of August, that is come next month. And the championship will be happening at Budapest, Hungary. And here with me, I'm joined by the chairman, Barnabas Koril, and he'll be sharing us more about the event and more so what is expected after this. And Mr. Barnabas Koril, welcome on board. We arrive on KBC channel. To start with, maybe you can just give us a brief, maybe recap of what basically what's happening here.
Thank you very much. Today is the second day of the trials that we are having. We started yesterday and we had a very good competition from athletes, and today we have seen the performance of our athletes, and looking ahead, I think we are going to have a very strong team. Yesterday Faith ran the 5,000 meters and she won. That is a plus for us. We had also the 10,000 meters, and you can see the guys were running. This morning we have had some competitions which are really good. 1,500 meters. We had 1, 2, 3. Of course, Chiruyot won the race. And of course, Reynold Kipkorir also is a very good athlete. And Asfel, too, is also the artist that we wanted to make the team. And we are very happy about that.
Maybe today witnessing a very stiff competition as these athletes are battling for a slot in the World Championship. Maybe what's the criteria you're using to ensure maybe they meet the cut line?
You know, the criteria we already sent to the public and also the athletes to understand how we are going to select. This meeting was basically for invited athletes only, and the reason why we only invited athletes because of the regulations governing anti-doping agency. We know Kenya is operating under Rule 15 because we are also on a watch list. A watch list means that the countries that have been watched by World Athletics because of doping are given certain regulations to follow. And one of those regulations is that an athlete has to have been tested 3 times before being permitted to compete. And one of the primary conditions we allowed our athletes to actually run today was to make sure that they have been tested once out of competition. That was the basic one, and then of course the others will follow.
Maybe in the previous years or in the recent past, we have been having or maybe witnessing athletes producing a stellar performance. Maybe as the AK, now the Athletics Kenya, what's your target or what's your expectations on this?
Of course, when you look at the performance today, there's absolutely no difference with the past. It's only that maybe we had many athletes at that time, unlike today. What we are doing is to make sure that we support our athletes in their training programs and also to ensure that they have the support that they need, and the competitions locally that we organize practically every weekend. That way they have a chance now to test their skills after training. Then they have to have competitions, and then immediately they do that, they actually go outside the country to compete, and then they test. So the programs that we have had has really assisted our athletes as a federation, and we are sure that going by what you have seen today and we are still seeing is that we have a very strong team that will compete during the World Championship.
We remain with just a few weeks to the World Championship. Maybe is there or maybe extra activities that you shall do to the team to ensure still they shall have the same energy come to the World Championship?
Exactly, we have at least 1 month and a few days. That is enough period to train. Immediately after the selection, the others will be put in a training camp so that they can prepare very well now, the remaining weeks. And I'm sure that as soon as we select the team, those who have already been nominated to represent the country will be training and focusing on the World Championship. Maybe some might want to go and compete a little bit outside the country. They will be allowed to do that. But the main group will be staying and preparing for the championship with their coaches and also the technical staff.
Maybe what could be your final word, more so maybe to Kenyans and more so to the athletes taking part in this event?
First of all, I would thank the Kenyans who have turned up today to watch our athletes. We also appreciate the support from the government. We have the PS today, and yesterday we had the CS for sports, and we are really grateful for them showing up. We also appreciate what the athletes have done. They have come and competed fairly, and we continue asking them to compete without using any substance that is not allowed. To the Kenyans, we want to ask our fellow Kenyans that they should continue supporting our athletes and giving them the moral, financial, and all they need so that they can carry our flag high when they go to compete outside the country in Budapest.
Thank you very much. Thank you for your time. Indeed, that was the chair Athletics Kenya, Mr. Barnabas Koril. And what I have just said, he's optimistic that the squad that will be selected to represent Kenya in the World Championship in Budapest, Hungary, he remains optimistic that they shall produce stellar performance. And just a highlight of what has been happening from noon is that in the women's 10,000 meters final, Irene Chebet actually emerged victorious after clocking a time of that 1 minute 52.21 seconds ahead of Agnes Chebet and Catherine Relin. And in the 5,000 meters final, that is in men's category, Jacob Kiprop actually won the race ahead of Daniel Simiu and Cornelius Kemboy. And in the 5,000, rather in the women's category, 15,000 meters, Neri Chepchirchir clocked a time of 3 minutes 59 seconds to emerge victorious ahead of Brenda Chebet and Edna Jebitok. And finally, what we just witnessed in the men's 15,000 meters final, Timothy Cheriot emerged victorious definitely after clocking a time of 3 minutes 34.01 seconds. And Abel Kipsang was second, and Renaud Kipkoril settled for that position. And for that, Bernard Okumu, that's just a highlight of what's happening. But we're promising you come in our tonight in our subsequent bulletin. We shall be giving you detailed information as the team, as the final squad will be named today. From Nyayo National Stadium, I'm Kingori Mwangi. Back to you at the broadcasting house, Bernard Okumu.
Well, that's Elijah Kingori from Nyayo National Stadium, where he spoke to the AK Nairobi branch chairman, Barnabas Koril, who's also in charge of youth development in the federation, and spoke about the optimism that they have in the team, the squad that they're picking today ahead of the World Games, the World Athletics Championships in Budapest, Hungary, later next month. Remember, the games, the championship will be shown live on KBC Channel 1, so put that down. And Channel 1 will be bringing the games from Hungary as soon as they begin. But first things first, Kenya has to pick a team. And from Elijah Kingori's report there, a number of usual big names earning their places in the team, including Jacob Krop in the 5,000 meters men, as well as a two-time world champion, 1,500 meters. That's Timothy Cheruiyot. That and much more, of course, it will be in our subsequent news bulletins, as stated by Kingori, on who made the team and how many were picked. But welcome back. We now get into the interviews, and of course on set I have the members of the national team, the handball team that participated in the beach games in Tunisia. And on my left is Jeline Luvuno, who was part of the 10-member women's team, a beach handball team, and of course Francis Kenga, goalkeeper, who was also part of the men's team. Karibuni sana Kenga na Jeline. Naam, Jeline, tuambie labda volleyball, handball ya ufuoni ni tofauti vipi na handball ya kawaida?
Okay, tunaweza sema ni kwa handball ya ufuoni tukiangalia sana wachezaji, inachezwa na wachezaji 4, na pia hivyo ukiangalia kwa handball ya ufuoni huwa haina mgusano, unlike hiyo handball ya tunasema indo handball huwa inachezwa na wachezaji 8, 9, na pia iko na mambo na mgusano, huwa kuna hiyo let's say contact. Yeah.
Naam, tofauti ya beach handball ameelezea Jeline. Kenga, labda beach handball ulianza kuicheza lini na mnatokea Mombasa, sio?
Asante. Mimi beach handball nilianza kucheza mwaka jana pale nilikuwa nacheza indo, lakini coach Titus akasema Francis, nataka tucheze beach, na vile sisi tunatoka kule kabidi nikamwambia sasa mimi niko sawa, acha tucheze.
Kule ni wapi?
Uko chini, yani down coast,
Mombasa.
Sasa alivyoniambia sijua mtu akiombwa kitu anafanya. Sasa mimi nikajiunga na yeye. Hiyo ilikuwa mwaka jana, kitu kama mwezi kama wa 6 hivi hapo.
Alikuwa na klabu ama alikuwa
yeye ndo coach wa national team ule na trainer. Sasa timu ilipoenda Kibali last time ile 2019 ilipokuja, sasa kati na prepare kwa hiyo yenye tulifanya Tunisia this year. Sasa akasema kuna championship inakuja, so nataka tu utujoin kule kwa beach. Nikamwambia sawa. Sasa hapo mwezi wa 6 ndo nikaanza training pole. Bas mwaka huu ndo hivyo tukaenda Tunisia.
Na labda matokeo ya Tunisia, Jeline, mlimaliza katika nafasi ya pili, mkashinda silver, sio?
Ndiyo.
Ambayo umevalia shingoni. Labda ni fahari gani nakupa kuwa ulienda na ukarudi na medal?
Okay, kitu naweza sema ni kuwa ukiangalia venye walicheza 2019, hii ni medali ya kwanza ya beach handball. So kama mchezaji, kama wachezaji tuko na raha kwa sababu beach handball imepokea medali ya kwanza kutoka kwa wanawake. Na pia hiyo ni let's say it's a success to the beach handball team, and also we have outreached a message to our leaders or to our federation that we can still make it. Yeah.
Labda ina maana gani hiyo medal haswa kwa beach handball? Labda message ni kwamba sasa ipanuliwe kukue mpaka na ligi ya beach handball, ama inamaanisha nini hiyo medal?
Hii medal tunataka sasa nile waanze kujitayarisha na hizo ma-league na tufanye, maana games hazijaisha bado, na mawazo yetu kama wasichana tunataka tulete gold nyumbani, maana hiyo gold ilituponyoka tu bahati mbaya, lakini sasa tunataka hizo leagues ziletwe, tuanze mazoezi rasmi na tunaweza kujibidisha na kuimprove our skills.
And of course, this is a recap that the national women's handball team did finish second, which means they won silver after going out to host Tunisia. Lakini wanaume walimaliza katika nafasi ya 5, sio? Hii ilikuwa ni improvement sana kutokana na mashindano ya 2019.
Kabisa. 2019 timu ilimaliza namba 9. Sasa hii mwaka tumemaliza namba 5. Hapo tumeimprove sana. Sasa kitu ambacho tunasema labda kinaweza kiletwe ili tufanye tuongeze tena ile rank itoke 5 iende kama 2-1. Jilin amesema pale league tunafaa tuorganize league ambayo itakuwa ina run katika hiyo league. Hapo ndo tuna bond, kwa sababu maplayer wengi, tuseme wengi tunatoka Mombasa, kidogo ndio wanatoka huko up countries, lakini sasa tunafaa tukue pamoja, tuwe na ile team bonding ile. Hiyo ndio inaweza, hiyo sisi tunaweza, hiyo ndio itatuleta pamoja na tutaleta ile competition katika level kubwa.
Labda hayo yanawezekana?
Hayo yanawezekana kwa sababu federation yetu inafanya kazi nzuri. Cha kwanza NOC pia walitupeleka huko tuka hiyo position hiyo number 5. Sasa hii to improve hiyo ligi ikifanyika, niko sure kabisa tutatoka pale tulikokuwa na tutapanda juu zaidi.
Na labda katika matokeo ya huu mwaka sio kulikuwa na hiyo improvement. Unafikia nini kilichochangia hayo matokeo mazuri mwaka huu?
Kitu cha kwanza kilichangia ni mazoezi. Tulianza mapema, kwa sababu kama nilivyokuambia, mimi nilianza mazoezi ile kuingia mwezi wa 6 mwaka jana, na championship ilifanyika mwezi wa 6. Kwa hivyo ni Spania kitu kama 1 year, si ndio? So tumefanya mazoezi hiyo muda, tukao tunaenda, kuna kabla tuingie camp kwa tunajiendea wenyewe mazoezi kila siku. Uko busy lakini unatenga muda wako, unapata mazoezi hivyo.
Jilin, timu ya kina dada ilicheza mechi 4 ama 5, sio?
Mcheza 4.
Mechi 4. Mkashindwa mechi 2 tu. Labda hao matokeo unaweza sema yalitokana na nini?
Okay.
Na mchuano ulikuwa mgumu japo mlishinda. Lakini mlishindwa na Uganda, mbona?
Okay, kitu naweza sema Uganda kutushinda, ilifika mahali tuseme hatukuwa aggressive. Like aggressiveness ni ile pia kule unaona hao walikuwa wanacheza nini indoor handball, walikuwa na speed. So kwa game huo unaambiwa ucheze game yako, play your own game, but ilifika point tukaanza kucheza game yao, na hapo ndo walitushinda. Juu tulichoka mapema, hao walienda na speed, sasa sisi tukawafuata na speed yenye wanaenda nayo. Sasa hapo ndo wakatupiga.
Mlichokifunza katika mchuano huo kiliwafaa vipi katika mechi ambayo ilisalia?
Hiyo ilitufunza, hapo ndo tulijua tunafaa tucheze game yetu. So tulipomaliza hiyo game kwa tunafaa tuingie na Tunisia. So kitu ilitusaidia tucheze na Tunisia, tuende first set na second set tugawanye 1-1, tuende mashootout. Tulisoma game yao na tukahakikisha tumejipanga. Seti ya kwanza sawa walitupiga, lakini ilikuwa ni ile ngumu. But seti ya pili nasi tukajikaza na tukaonyesha kuwa sisi si wale wenye mmetuzoea. Maana hao walikuwa na ile mentality kuwa hii ni Kenya, tunaweza wapiga. Lakini sasa tulipofika second set wakaona mambo ni tofauti, mpaka tukaenda shootouts.
Na mkapoteza katika shootouts, sio?
Tulipoteza katika shootouts
dhidi ya Tunisia. Lakini walikuwa nyumbani, sio? Kwa hivyo labda walikuwa na support ya nyumbani kidogo.
Walikuwa na support. Support ilikuwa kubwa sana, lakini sasa sisi kama Wakenya tulikuwa na support yetu kivyetu. Tunashukuru wanaume walikuwa hapo kando tu, walikuwa natupea saiki ingine hapo ambayo ilitujenga, ikatupea nguvu na tukaweza kushindana na hiyo Tunisia.
Alafu Kenga, kwa mfano kwa beach handball, right?
Yeah.
Ni tofauti sana na indoor handball. Je, mzawa wa ufuoni ana advantage ama yule mtu ambaye labda wale wachezaji walikuwa kwenye timu na labda hawajazoea ufuoni, ni hao walichukua muda gani kwa adopt? Labda ni mbinu gani ilitumika kuweza kuhakikisha kwamba kikosi kina blend na matokeo yanapatikana?
Kwanza kabisa nataka nitoe shukrani kwa Minister wa Kilifi anaitwa Madam Damaris na Naftali. Hao walitupatia kiwanja Malindi, tukafanya, kulikuwa na league na kama tournament hivi ilifanyika pale mwezi wa 3.
Ile ya Knox.
Sasa hao walitupatia kiwanja. Hapo ndo talent ndo zilionekana ile kuonekana, lakini sasa katika swali lako yule ufuoni hakuna advantage na kitu kimoja maviwili, kwa sababu unajua ule ni mchanga, ule unacheza mchangani, unacheza kwa manyasi. Mchanga ule unachokesha ile kikweli kabisa, lakini sasa kama umekaa kule, wewe unaenda bahari, umezoea kukopa na hiyo, ni rahisi sana. Yani ule mwenye ametoka kwa hii Indo Handball, lakini pia bidii ya yule mtu ametoka kwa Indo na akileta kule kwa beach anakopa mapema pia, kwa sababu najua ukiweka bidii mahali lazima kuna mazao.
Kando na handball, labda huko mchezo wote ambao unashiriki, na baada ya hizi games what next?
Hata nicheke bana. Mimi kusema kweli nacheza football, lakini ile ya mtaani. Nacheza football ya mtaani, lakini pia naona ile drop kama 2015 hivi. Hapo ndiko form 3, hapo ndo niliingia sasa handball. Ile handball yenyewe hii ya Indo ilikuwa St. George's Big, shout out kwenu sana.
St. George's
Boys High School Kaloleni Giriama pale.
Class of
2016.
Nice one.
Sasa hapo kuna coaches fulani alikuwa anaitwa Abel Sakwa. Acha nimshukuru sana. Yeye ndo alinichukua, ndo tukaanza hapo hiyo mazoezi madogo. Yaani unajua niliingia hiyo kama tuseme nimeingia kama huu mwezi, nikatrain mwezi mmoja, hiyo mwezi nyingine tukaenda county na nikawa mimi ndo first goalkeeper na nimeenda hivyo. Kando nimeacha football. Sasa 2015 mpaka saa hii ni game yangu nimeconcentrate nayo ni handball. Na kuanzia mwaka jana sasa nikapata sport nyingine ambayo ni beach handball. Hii ndio sasa hiyo pia itanisamea. Sasa
kwa hivyo huko Indo hujachezea club yote?
Indo nachezea club pale Mombasa, inaitwa Mombasa Saints.
Unashiriki ligi ya handball
Mombasa? Tunashiriki ligi ya Mombasa kule, lakini kuna changamoto hapa na pale, sponsorship yani kwetu kule ndo ni noma kabisa.
Sababu pia ligi ya handball ni moja tu ya ambayo inachezwa Nairobi, sio?
Kwa sababu inachezwa huko Nairobi, unajua kutoka Mombasa Nairobi hiyo gharama pia ni
vina changamoto ya kujimudu
sana. Sasa wapi tunachezelea kule Mombasa. Hiyo nao pia kuna klabu zingine kama sisi ikija pale Mombasa pale center, huwa tuna manage kupiga kama game kama 3, 4, 6 hivi. Zikienda kama Kwale, unajua wengi wetu tuko, wengine wako, mimi kama sasa niko college, kuna wenzangu pia wako hizi barua college pia. Sasa inaweza kawa weekend moja game inafanyika kama Malindi, na hiyo time una hiyo pesa kwenda. Hiyo sasa game inaruka.
Ajilin, safari yako labda ya uchezaji?
Okay, mimi nilianza kucheza handball nikiwa form 3. But wakati mwingine nilikuwa nacheza volleyball na netball. Lakini nilipofika form 3 nilisoma Valerie Macmillan High School iko Shanzu. Na namshukuru sana coach wangu anaitwa Madam Ann Mutinda. Yeye ndo aliniintroduce kwa handball. Na hapo ndipo nilipompata, tukicheza hizi games, tulipofika county ndo nilimpata coach Titus mwenye alinikaribisha kwa beach handball. So sichezi kwa klabu yote Indo, lakini nilipopata hii beach handball nilisema acha nikae beach handball. Juu hiyo at least naweza nikeep busy juu siko shule, niko na miaka 2 nje. So beach handball ndo sasa ni sport yenye naendelea nayo kwa sasa.
Na inakupa uwezo wa kuota kwamba ndoto utafikia ndoto yako?
Okay, hii ni ndoto yenye mimi mwenyewe nashukuru mwanzo acha nishukuru Mungu juu nilipokuwa high school nilisema naomba, like nilimwomba Mungu nisifikishe miaka 21 kama sijachezea national team. Na hiyo ndio sasa imefanyika. I'm only 20 years na nimechezea national team. So that's a dream come true to me and I thank the mighty God for that. Yeah.
Nini ambacho sasa kitaendelea?
Kinachoendelea. Okay, pia hata kama ndoto imetimia lakini pia tunafaa tutafute ndoto zingine. Na kwa timu yetu ya wasichana tuko na team manager, tunamuita team manager Jaji. So he welcomed me, alinikaribisha kwa club ya Nairobi Water kwa pa Nairobi, but for now juu niko Mombasa, I still have to prepare myself. Juu nafaa ni join shule September. So I have to prepare myself.
Unaenda kusomea nini?
Naenda fanya civil engineering. So I have to prepare myself. Kitambo nitoke kule hadi huku najua nikifika huku naishi wapi, najimanage vipi, alafu nitajipanga vipi pia masomo na games zikiendelea.
Hivyo games zimekupatia opportunity ya kuweza kusoma pia?
Yes, zimenipatia opportunities. Juu sasa siwezi sema sitategemea mzazi as such, but nitategemea tu, sitakuwa like shule kuna some parts nitakuwa najisaidia mwenyewe. Maana nimeenda nimechezea national team, nimelipwa, na siku ati nitategemea mzazi kila kitu na nimelipwa. Kuna some responsibilities kama msichana mwenye anaenda shule kama wanafunzi, itabidi najifanyia mwenyewe. Kwa hivyo hapo ni mzigo kidogo umeteremshwa kwa wazazi.
All the best, Jilin.
Thank you. Thank you.
Na labda unataka kuchezea sasa timu, mawazo yako ni yapi? Hii gold itawezekana next championship?
Itawezekana. Mimi najua itawezekana. Sikubahatisha hii. Maana sasa tumewapanga hiyo au opponents wetu wenye tunasema ni opponents, tumewasoma, tunajua venye wanacheza. So sisi nasi upande wetu kama wachezaji tunajipanga ili tukifika kule tunarudi tuna gold. Ndio.
Na Kenga, nafasi ya handball katika labda maisha yako na jinsi sasa unavyoona baada, maanake kucheza katika hiyo level sio ni si wengi wanapata hiyo chance, labda hiyo ile knowledge ambayo umepata huko itakusaidia vipi?
Kwanza kabisa acha pia mimi nishukuru Mungu kwa sababu kama vile umesema hii nafasi kuipata ni adimu sana. Sasa vile nimejoin national team, kwanza mimi nasomea automotive engineering pale Kisauni Polytechnic Mombasa. Sasa najua katika harakati zangu za masomo pale napiga na sport, the same time napiga masomo. Pia mimi kama Jilin pale na mzazi kidogo nimempunguzia ule mzigo kutokana na hii michezo, pia mzazi pia nimempunguzia kidogo. Sasa kwenda mbele nataka ni-maintain nafasi yangu katika national team kwa sababu niko na malengo pia. Number 5 sio kitu ninataka katika malengo. Tulitoka number 9 tumeenda number 5, next championship God willing tuende kama number 2 number 1 kule. Hiyo naweza kule kutoka number 1 naweza sema acha nashukuru national team nimeachieve.
Okay. Nilikuwa nazungumza na Francis Kenga, who is a goalkeeper for the national men's beach handball team, na Jilin Luvuno, who plays as a pivot for the national team. Sio, asante sana. Vile unakumbuka kwamba Jilin na kikosi chake, the ladies won silver the Tunisian games, while akina Kenga and the squad finished in 5th position out of 9 countries. I'll be speaking to the other 2 members of the team, Michelle Oyo and Victor Tomino, next segment of the interview. But first, let's relook at the 2022 World Championship in USA in Oregon, where Faith Kipyegon won her second world title in the 1500 meters, while Emmanuel Korir won his inaugural 800 meters title during the Games.
We turn our attention to the 800-meter final. What a race in prospect. The final of the men's 800 meters gets underway with a growing sense of anticipation. Korir is the Olympic champion, starting second from the inside, second from the right, as we look at it there, between the Frenchman Tual and Sajati. But we haven't necessarily seen his best this season. And has he saved himself for the right time? Müller holding his hands out there to the huge, towering presence of Ayrop, who's got himself out of danger. Watch for both of the Algerians on the second lap. They can finish really, really quickly. Kisase out of danger, the Commonwealth champion, up onto the shoulder of Peter Bol. No move yet from Korir. The Olympic champion is at the back. They take the bell. One of these men is 50 seconds away from a place in history. No Canadians ever won this title. Ayrop is majestic out front. He's the Pan American champion. Tual is a little bit boxed on the inside in second place. Kisase and Korir trying to come wide for Kenya. Watch for the two Algerians. They can finish really, really quickly. Kisase in second, and Korir is now coming. Has the Olympic champion fooled us all? No form to speak of all season. Ayrop's driving for the line. He'd love to be the first Canadian to win this, but Emmanuel Korir is coming away. He's pushing, he's driving. The lactic acid is taking hold, but the Olympic champion becomes the world champion. And what a second place for Sajati. The Algerian came through for silver, but Emmanuel Korir, despite not breaking 1:45 all season, all of a sudden discovers the turn of speed that took him to the title in Tokyo, and it has swept all before him here in Eugene. Emmanuel Korir strikes at the perfect time this season. A wonderful performance, a second successive global crown after his Tokyo title. Sajati richly deserves the silver, and Ayrop a moment of history for the Canadians with the bronze. Now we turn our attention to a number of presentations. Don't worry, we have finished the live action. Couple of presentations for you. It's just gone 8 o'clock in the evening here. Really, really hope you've enjoyed the penultimate night of action. We'll signpost what's to come on the 10th and final day before we all go off for a glass of something fizzy. Water, of course, on the at the end of the penultimate night. Can't believe it's almost over. It's not fair, is it? It's been an absolutely brilliant 10 days. What it feels like, it was about 3 days ago, but it wasn't. It was earlier on this evening. Marco Ayrop becomes only the second Canadian to win a medal in this event. Gary Reid got a silver back in 2007 in the sweltering heat of Osaka. And Marco Ayrop, a majestic looking runner in full flow. The Pan American champion takes a world championship bronze. Fine run from him, especially bearing in mind he was eliminated at the semis in Tokyo last year.
Representing Algeria, Jamal Sadate.
And a rare moment on the podium in this event for the Algerians. 1 gold back in 2003, a bronze in '99, and now a silver to Jamel Sajati. He'd won 8 out of his 9 races in 2022, some of those indoors. He'd been finishing like a steam train. He did in the semis and he did in the final. Good enough to catch everybody, bar the Olympic champion.
And World athletics champion, representing Kenya, Emmanuel Kipkurui, Korea.
Well, he didn't have much form coming into this World Championship, but you don't get to be the Olympic champion and the 6th fastest in history without an awful lot of class. He got better and better through the rounds and through the semi-final, and Emmanuel Korea is a global champion once more and joins the likes of the legendary Kenyans Billy Conchella and David Rudisha as a Kenyan world champion over 800 metres. And for the second season in a row, he proudly turns to hear the Kenyan national anthem. Faith Kipyegon delivered for Kenya in the women's 1500. Emmanuel Korea does the same in this brutal distance of raw speed and tactics. Kenya, Algeria and Canada on the podium in the men's 800.
Yo. Okay, so Michelle, how does it feel to win silver for the national team? I mean, handball, club-wise, national team has not been meddling, but the beach handball is setting the pace. How does it feel?
I feel fiti.
You can't describe the feeling?
Huwezi nikidescribe na kuna kudanganya. Feeling nyingine fiti.
Victor, how has the season been with Syrians?
Exciting, wonderful. We only missed the Super Cup, but hizi zingine zote tumebag. Of course, it poses a challenge for the next season, but we are excited to see what the next season brings.
Ni mic testing.
Sasa sinamwambia story mic testing. Yeah.
Kusao.
Hajaniambia. Si nilikwambia.
Yeah, Mwanga. So, Michelle, great to have
So
you.
kitope kwa nini?
How has it been?
Imekuwa fiti. Poa. Kabisa.
Kwa sasa ndio.
It's been quite a journey for handball. Like, this can be traced. Okay. Yes, Victor.
Yes.
Asante sana. How was regular season instrumental in the team's performance in Tunisia?
It was exciting, it was good. The environment ilikuwa fiti. Challenges ilikuwa poa. Tulikuwa tunaangalia how to improve from our last outing and I believe ilikuwa successful.
Well, welcome back. It is a Game On to another segment of the interview where I'm talking to the two members of the team that did do duty for the national, for the nation at the second edition of the Africa Beach Games in Hammamet, Tunisia. Hope I got that one correct. Of course, the women's team winning silver, while the men's team great leap in results this season, this edition, finishing fifth as earlier stated. We talked to Francis Kenga and Jeline Luvuno, who are also the members of these two sides. Karibuni sana Michelle Oyo and Victor Otuoma on to Game On.
Thank you.
Asante sana, and begin with Michelle. Michelle, great one to have you here. You know, the captain for the national, you are the captain of this team, right? How hard did the team fight to grind the result?
Yeah, we fought so hard to get the results because going into the championship, we knew what we were going for. Before this championship, we had participated in a mini tournament. It's called a global tour, which is usually hosted before the real championship. This championship is played by the last top four from the previous championship, where we were number 4. So we got an invite to attend the global tour, which we participated, and we also got silver in that championship. So the preparation we made for the second edition was through this championship. Yeah.
So the tour played a critical role in preparing you for the...
It played a very critical role, considering we met the same opponents. So coming into the second championship, we knew what we were walking into. Yeah.
Michelle also turns out for Nairobi Water Queens, you know, the reigning champions of the National League, Women's League. Victor Tuoma plays for Seagulls, and they're also the champions. They won the title of the season, but missed out on the Super Cup.
Yes, we missed out on the Super Cup.
But you also featured for the national team in Tunisia.
Yes.
I mean, what was key in helping the side make that leap in results in Tunisia?
I believe it's the preparations. This time there was deliberate and elaborate preparations from our stakeholders, the government, National Olympic Council, and our federation. So I think that played a very big role into the improved results that we had from Cape Verde and now into Tunisia.
Yes, Michelle, and The team, if the line of the schedule is correct, then you lost the last 2 games.
Yeah, we lost the last 2 games. The last 2, which is Uganda and Tunisia. Yeah, I might say maybe we went into the match against Uganda overconfident. Yeah.
What was the confidence resulting from? What was the factor behind your confidence?
The factor behind our confidence was, I'm sorry to say, how we saw them playing and we were like, tunaweza chapa. Yeah.
and then when you faced them, you found out it was totally different. How better were they like, and how did that really wake you up?
Okay, apart from the few mistakes that we made, it was a beatable team, but it was too late for us to realize the mistakes and correct. Beach handball is played for 20 minutes. First set, 10 minutes. The second set, 10 minutes. That's 20 minutes. So by the time we were realizing we should be doing this instead of this, it was too late. Yeah.
It's meaning that it's an intense game. How better should one be?
What I can say is you just need to know how to utilize the 10 minutes. Yeah. Anytime you're going for an attack, you make sure you come with a scope. Anytime they're coming to attack, make sure you try and defend your previous goal. So by the time, okay, they were too fast, unlike we, they were too fast, and then we were playing as fast as them. So that's where things went wrong.
Playing their game?
Yeah, playing their game, I would say like that, playing their game.
Yeah, and Utuoma, how I mean, looking at the number of games, how many games did you play, and what was the key game that really the team benefited from?
We played a maximum of around 4 to 5 games, and the team benefited from all the games actually, because it was a learning process. From game 1 to game 5, it was a learning process. However, our big breakthrough was against Mali. Of course, Mali is a formidable team. We saw them play against Algeria, against Tunisia and these other teams. And I will say beating them or winning the 2 sets was a big plus for Team Kenya. On your question on which particular game did we really benefit from, I will say it's all of them, because you see, now from our last outing to this outing, we had like half of the team being new members, and that indicated that it was also a learning process and an exposure to some of our teammates. I would say that the whole tournament was an experience. The traveling, the mingling, the preparations, each set by each set. It was really beneficial to individual players, and the team as a whole. Yes.
Michelle, of course, the silver means that the gold should be knocking now.
Yeah.
You're knocking on the gold door, right?
Yeah.
What did the team learn now? What must happen for the gold to come?
For the gold to come, we need to have more of these championships. We need to go out more. The country needs to hold more championships, like more tournaments. There's this one tournament that was held by NOC. We say thank you so very much. It was in Kilifi. They need to have more of that so that we also get to exercise more. For example, I would say Tunisia, they have a lot of experience in this. They're the defending champions. They've been going to these championships every year in, year out. So this is like, I would call it maybe our 3rd major championship, because the first one that we went was in Cape Verde. Then the second one was the tournament which was held in Kilifi. Then the 3rd one was now the beach tour, which really come together with this African championship. So I would say this is the 3rd one, and we've performed this better. So it means if we go more of this championship, if we have more of these tournaments, be sure next time tunarudi na hiyo gold.
For real, gold
Yeah.
should be knocking, right? Should be home
Yeah.
during the next edition of the championship.
Yes,
So,
yes.
and Michelle, maybe before I let you go, talk about your last decade has been like the definition of handball, you know, and that's been Nairobi Water, where you began. Was it from Shimba Hills? But now 10 years straight, 10 plus a decade of a dozen titles, right?
Yeah.
Domestic titles.
Yeah.
It means that the game is limitless to you. You know, after hanging up the boots, maybe you can reveal your plans. Understand you've already done a coaching course.
Yeah, One, I'm not hanging anytime soon. Niko na miaka zingine za kucheza. Then of course we all have plans after. I plan to venture into coaching. I already have one certificate, which is Class D. Looking forward to have C, B, and A. I don't want to, hii kichwa iko na maarifa mingi sana, so sitaki kukaa nayo. I would like to pass it on to others. Yeah, so after I retire, I plan to venture into coaching, lakini bado cha tucheze kwanza.
Nice one, nice one. Otoma, with the Serials Club Championship, what are the aspirations of you and the team?
Me as a player?
Yes.
Maybe first of all, to start from where Michelle was responding to, handball has come a long way since I joined. I started playing in 2004, 2004, and we've seen tremendous development, a lot of new talents, very able players, and I believe that there's a big there's a bright future for sportsmen and women, and especially for young people. And we can even see where the government is, putting a lot of strength, a lot of emphasis.
Creating institutions like the Youth Fund.
Like the Youth Fund. We have under the Ministry of Youth, we have the Talanta Hela. And all these are just platforms to try and nurture talents, develop talents, but again, also try to make sure that people and the sportsmen earn from sports and to try and make sports to be a livelihood to some of us and those who are aspiring to be sportsmen.
Yes, indeed. Otoma and Michelle are taking it up, and they are the good definition of what really, so the talent are following your talent, right, from school or when you're still young. And Michelle is planning to go into coaching so that she brings up more like her and feed the country and as well as the continent of these massive handball talents. Thank you so much, Otoma and Michelle, for being part and parcel of the conversation on Game On today.